Hello. So Anna posted a picture of the repair job we did to the Journey Cortex body here, and everybody wants to know how I did it and all that. It's not that difficult. My background is that I used to, well, I still kind of collect a lot of tabletop miniature games, and I do modeling and stuff like that. So once I figured out what kind of glue would work on the Cortex, it was pretty simple just based on my experience. And I had bought a Chaos pack, which actually allowed me to test several different types of glues to see which ones actually work best with the parts. And those glues, main one we used is this right here. Got it right off Amazon. I believe in Danny's video of the assembly of the Cortex, this is the same glue he's showing inside the video. The other glue that works is this one right here, and this one's from Games Workshop. Now this bottle though, I will caution you, you take it off, it's got a little needle here for application. First time I took this off, the needle came out, and it just had to pull it out of the cap and put it back in. I actually, for this application, I actually like this one because this one has an applicator brush, which made it a lot easier to control where I put the glue. What this glue does is it actually dissolves the plastic, or melts it, which makes it to where you can get the parts to fuse back together when it dries, and then also able to apply additional plastic to it. I know some people were saying they were doing epoxy and then airbrushing. You don't really need to do that. For one thing, in Cortex, you'll notice when you get them, if you get them non-assembled, right, you've got all these little tabs. Save the tabs, because you can use those little tabs to actually grind up and do repairs with later on. So right here, I've sanded down with some sandpaper. This is 400 grit sandpaper. So I've taken one of these tabs and I've grinded one of these down and even cut a little bit to create a little bit of a stockpile of plastic right there. Because what we're going to do, I'm going to show you, is I've put a cut into this spare part right here. And this is Cortex. Now, here's a reminder. This only works on Cortex. Does not work on the vinyl. Do not put solvents onto vinyl. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue, get it over here. Some of the tools I use for flattening it out, I use just a simple little spade style toothpick, because it doesn't stick to it. You get some good tweezers, a little hobby knife to cut some of the stuff down. This right here you'll recognize. This comes with the Cortex kits. This is that little sanding pad. I use that as a finishing. This right here, this is a mold line remover. When I put together Anna's Cortexes, I use this to remove the mold lines off the side of the legs, right here, down on here. This one I haven't touched yet, but this literally scrapes away the mold lines, and then you just do the finishing sanding, and nobody can even tell. And this right here, this is a sanding pad I got with my Gundam modeling kit. You can find these online as well, and it's got a decent sandpaper. It's a little bit rougher than Danny's pad, so it's perfect for this application. Again, save your little tabs when you're putting together your Cortex. Okay, so here we go. We got this. I'm going to put in a little bit like that. You see that go? Okay, hold on. Oops. All right. It's kind of weird doing this backwards. So just put a little bit right into the gash. Now, if this was a cracked part, like what was on the arm, I would let that set for a little bit. mainly so that the part starts to fuse together, and it becomes a stronger bond before I start trying to fill it. Okay, since this is just basically a gash, all I gotta do is just, again, I'm just gonna put a little glue in there, get it all nice and soft, and then I'm gonna grab with my little tweezers here, I'm gonna grab some of the little plastic. And how you grab the plastic, that's all up to you. You might have to do this several times. This is definitely where patience is going to come in. As long as you saved your little tabs, you should have a good supply. So put more glue on that. And then I'll use this little guy to kind of, as it's melting, to mash it into the, and you can see right there, you can see how it's becoming malleable, and I'm able to work it into the gash. The best part about this process is because I'm using the same skin tone plastic, I don't have to worry about color distortion or anything like that, or airbrushing or all that. Okay. All right, so now let that dry. Okay, it's going to take a couple minutes. Put a cap on that. Don't want to breathe in the fumes for too long. Okay. Okay. Like I said, this glue doesn't take very long.
Which size grit do you think you're using?
It's pretty fine. It's not as fine as Danny's little pad right there. But I like it because it's on a sponge. You see that? It allows me to actually, if you see here,
Got it focusing.
as I go to sand, I can actually press it and see how it forms to the curve of the model, which really helps keep it a uniform. You want to go back and forth, and you can see the gash is already starting to disappear. Looks like we have to fill it at least one more time.
Oops. Oop, I lost it. There we go. You doing it one more time?
Yep. Put a little bit more on there.
Yeah, you covered the hole.
And then we're going to put a little more plastic on it. Because I can see there's still a little bit of a gap right here. Looks like a little bit of one on the end. Like I said, patience is your friend on this.
Thank goodness you have patience because I don't have any.
Oh, I know.
Hey. Oh, I know. Sorry, guys. As you can see, I didn't go to film camera school. Sorry.
Ooh, got there. Okay. So is that dry?
There's a hair on it.
Where?
Somewhere toward the bottom of the leg.
Oh, well, I'm not worried about that.
Arm.
It'll sand off here in a minute. Okay. Now, if you get any of these pads, I highly recommend that if you have multiple smart dolls in different colors, that you write on the back the color of the smart doll you're using this on, because
Skin tone.
the skin tone, yes, because you don't want to be doing this and introduce another smart doll's color
Skin tone.
into the plastic.
like one little nub, but just taking a tiny sand off. But that's okay. Still a little soft. Okay.
What does it mean when it's a little soft?
That's why the nub was not coming off. Means the glue hasn't finished drying all the way.
So when you start sanding, do you give the glue a chance to dry first, or do you just start sanding while it's still a little...
Now you want it to dry a bit more than what I did here.
Now, in all fairness, that crack that you put in there is bigger than the one that was on Journey, right?
Correct.
You made a bigger crack just to make it visible.
Yes, this is a demonstration of filling a more of a gouge, but same process if you have a crack. And you can see I've greatly reduced the gouge that was in here before. You just have to spend more and more time filling it, sanding it, filling it, and sanding it, and then at the end of it, you take Danny's little pad. And you return it to its skin texture. But yeah, it'd take me probably about another 10 minutes, and I'd have this completely filled up, and you'd never even know it was there. And you can see right now it's pretty hard to see. At least I hope it shows that on the camera.
It's a little bumpy, but yeah, it's filled the hole.
Yeah, it's filled the hole. And like I said, you just have to spend time. The time now is to get it flat.
So you alternate between the sponge, kind of finer grit sanding paper, and then Danny's sandpaper that comes with the Cortex kits.
Yeah, I use Danny's as a finishing. Yeah, don't ever throw those away. If you buy several Cortex and you've got to stockpile them, keep them. You never know when you're going to need them.
So do you think a gouge like the one that you put into that is about 3 times over, or 2, or...
What's that again?
How many times do you think that should be repeated to be able to fill a gouge that deep?
As many times as it takes. Yeah, it's like I'd probably fill this in a couple more times right now. I mean, it looks pretty good. But you can kind of still see now that I've got some of the bumpiness down. You can still see where the shadow casts it. You can still see the line. But if I were to sit here and keep going over it and over it and over it, and I'm actually at the point right now where instead of using kind of like some of the dust to get in there, I can take, again, one of the little tabs and a knife, and you want to be very, very careful, is you cut very thin piece, just like that. Or if you've got a really bad scrape or gash in the Cortex, something like that, because then you can take that your good tweezers and see, I would be able to fill that really easy. I'm going to drop that in there. So yeah, keep your tabs you cut off. If you don't have any of those, you might want to buy one of those chaos packs to get more parts, just so that you can use them for repairs. Yeah, it's just a little bit more work to do, but in no time flat, you can easily repair these things without using epoxy, without airbrushing. Just takes, again, the right glue and the right tools. You can buy these off Amazon. If you're a modeler and stuff, you've probably got all this stuff right here. If you're assembling Cortex, you've got these already. It's what we all use to take the little nubbins off.
Will you show the back of her arm where she was sewn, just so you guys can see where her tear was.
So she was cracked right here.
Let me focus in.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's where the crack was, right there. Yep. And backing up.
All right. But yeah, it would take more time than you probably want to spend watching this video for me to finish this up. And I could finish this up and have Anna post a picture of what it looks like when I'm done. But that's all there is to it. Just time, patience, and nubbins. Lots of nubbins.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. So I'm a nervous wreck, so I couldn't be in the room when she was being repaired. So
she couldn't.
I couldn't. No. So I was in the other room. So this is the first time I get to see how it was done too. So I couldn't really answer very many questions yesterday because I couldn't be in the room. So I wasn't sure. But in any case, thank you guys for watching. I apologize for the quality of my filming because I don't really do YouTube videos because I just don't. And I guess I will see you on Facebook very soon. And just so there's a flyby of me so you know what I look like. I guess I'm not going to hand that to Ryan because it looks like he's continuing to repair the gash and the part that we put. So I'm just going to whip you around. Hopefully you don't get whiplash from this, but here we go. And here I am. Hello. I think I'm partly there. Am I in there?
Yeah, you're in there.
Good. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope that your repairs go well. And please be very careful when you're doing these repairs, especially if it's your first time, because, you don't want to use too much glue. You don't want the part to get too soft. So if you have a spare part, go ahead and test the glue out on that so you have an idea of how quickly it works. Oh, wait, he's saying something else. I'm whipping you back around. Whoosh. There we go.
If you're going to test your glue to see if it'll work on your part, my recommendation is try it on the inside of the parts to see if the glue will work. Don't use your outside, but always try on the inside of the part. Because nobody's going to see that. So always try on the inside of the part in a place nobody's going to see.
But that glue definitely works with the Cortex.
Glue works.
It's just, if someone has never done it before, you don't want to pile a whole bunch of glue on it and then end up with too soft.
And these are very thin glue. If you have a thick modeling glue, don't do it. It will become a mess everywhere. Use a thin glue. Use it sparingly. Give it plenty of time to dry.
All right, well, Kismet says goodbye. Here's one more shot of her. I'm happy that she finally has a body and is complete. And yeah, she's gorgeous. Anyway, bye everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.